It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. We're headed into the weekend. America has collapsed, and we are now an anarchist society. So it's a free-for-all, folks. The libertarians were right. Sex trade, everything. It's all legal now. It's crazy. Hot news.
Can we have a free-for-all day?
Did you know? Well, it depends on what you have in mind. You know what? When there's anarchy, you can do whatever you want. Did you know that the libertarian platform position is for, I said sex trade, but the sex industry, like prostitution? Perfectly legal for libertarians.
Okay. They
believe among consenting adults, you should be able to do whatever you want to do.
I'm not too far off that.
Well, are you off it at all?
No, I think you should be able to do what you want if you're an adult like that.
Well, after this week and the craziness that has been this week, I want to spend some time talking about libertarianism. Because I'm pissed at Republicans, I'm pissed at Democrats. Yeah, I'm running for governor as a Republican. I have to, because I gotta face off with Greg Abbott if he runs.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to get on one knee to face off with Greg Abbott.
Okay. See, that's the kind of stuff that gets brought back in the campaign. I didn't say it. That's the kind of stuff Roger Stone wants me to say that I refuse to say. Look, it's not my fault the guy's been pushed around his entire political career. But I'm just telling you guys that this libertarianism thing, there's some debate that's out there. I've always considered myself somewhat libertarian. I want people to just do whatever. We'll talk about this. How are you? Are you ready for a big weekend?
I
am ready for a big weekend, too. Do you have big plans?
No.
No, not yet. I do.
Yeah,
I'm going to be in Kansas City. On Friday and Saturday night at the Improv. And then we're going to head over to Omaha, Nebraska for a special Sunday night and Monday night show. I hope somebody shows up. I really do. You can find out about it at watchchad.com. The man himself, Matt Locke's hanging out over there with Party Foul. I just came for the beer. I want you to tell me real quick about the new show. You got the brand new show that's out.
Yeah, Lock and Load.
Lock and Load. I've been on it.
Yes.
Fantastic. I was amazing.
You were?
It's downhill from here.
Wait.
I don't know.
Who
I just
you got
interviewed
coming?
Yaku Boyens.
You got Yaku. Oh, Yaku's too serious.
He's up, and Hot News Natalie's
Hot
coming
News
by
Natalie's
here.
going to come on the show.
I know.
She'd come by to sit there. I mean, we're going to talk about being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Okay.
It's about life. It's a long-form interview that, we're all conservative or libertarians. But how did you get
There's
here?
no difference.
I mean, how did you become Chad Prather's wife?
I know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Just found out 2 days ago.
Yeah, that guy commented and said, I apologize.
He did.
He apologized.
He apologized.
Well, I think it took him by shock because he saw a picture of you and your husband Joseph on the beach, holding hands, semi-nude.
Yeah.
And I think he was shocked.
Yeah, it was on my Instagram, and if you scroll down, there's a picture of us, and I'm in the swims. We're both in swimsuits. And
he had a
holding hands.
WTF moment, didn't he?
He goes, I really want to apologize. I really thought that you and Chad were married.
This whole time.
I said,
I don't know what this whole time means, but.
This whole time, right?
Yeah.
I guess he doesn't watch the show regularly.
Yeah.
But I'm not married to Chad. I do love Chad.
She loves me.
I do.
And in a libertarian society, she could love me more. Candice, the queen of the Ethiopians, Candice's at a point now, sitting over there by Chance the Soulless Ginger Rapper, who's driving us into the nether regions here in the mothership. She doesn't even blush anymore. She just takes it. She was so pure when she came to the Chad Prather Show. How long have we been doing this thing now? We're going on 2 years.
Going on 2 years.
We're coming up on Blaze at least. We're coming up on 2 years.
Yep.
Man, how long is my contract here? I really need to get back into some negotiations or something. Golly, I think they got me in some indentured stuff going on.
It's a good show.
I think it's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Great
it's a fun show. I mean, we're no Matt Locke.
Well,
No.
I mean, we don't dive deep into people's psyche and soul.
We stay shallow.
We pretty much do.
Yeah.
We pretty much do. Hey, seeing the check engine light, you think they could afford a good teleprompter for us on this show. But no, we're coming eking into the finish line, folks, here on BlazeTV, the Chad Prather Show. Budget cuts. Seeing the check engine light turn on can give anybody anxiety. Mine's been on for 6 weeks. But I got Car Shield, so probably ought to give them a call.
Yep.
Probably ought to give them a call because you can't fix this stuff anymore. don't worry about it. CarShield, they've got a wide range of protection plans that can save you thousands of dollars on covered repair, which means that check engine lights, and it's a lot less scary when it comes on. You got the freedom to choose, ladies, your favorite mechanic or dealership to do the work, and CarShield gets the rest taken care of, even if your car breaks down while you're traveling. The choice of a repair shop still, hey, up to you. You can even take it to the dealership. On top of that, there's no long-term contracts or commitments, and payments are flexible, and CarShield plans are customizable to your exact needs. CarShield's helped over 1 million drivers, Natalie. That's why they're America's #1 auto protection company. I don't like the car repairs. I don't like taking them in, but you got to do it sometimes. With CarShield, you get peace of mind, folks. It's so easy. So get coverage today. See why CarShield cars go further. Call 800-665-2157. Mention code WatchChad. That's the one that pays you. Or visit carshield.com and use code WatchChad. Save 10%. That's carshield.com, code WatchChad. A deductible may apply. We'll be right back. And we're back. Man, I tell you. You know, the thing that got me thinking so much about this libertarian stuff, and there's some great libertarians that are out there.
Sure.
There's some great folks out there that claim, but libertarian is kind of like, it kind of it's so free, it's sort of defined by the person who holds it. It's kind of like postmodernism. You can't really define it. It's just a belief system. This happens to be a political belief system that really tends towards freedom and liberty more than anything else. And then you got some people who say, well, I don't know that I believe in that. And they're like, well, you're not a libertarian. I'm like, well, you believe in this? Yeah, well, you're not a libertarian. So I want to talk about it a little bit today, because I think most people these days are so fed up with political parties, right?
True.
That, and then you see things like Donald Trump, who the article comes out and says, well, he's only paid $750 in federal income tax in the last 2 years, which I don't see that as a problem. I see that as an accomplishment. Like,
well
I want to
done.
call his CPA and get his team on my stuff. It is my goal every year to pay the least amount
Sure.
of taxes. Property taxes, for instance, are ungodly. You pay your house off, you're still paying property taxes. My mother-in-law's this way. She owns her house. She still got to pay property taxes. She doesn't pay her property taxes. Guess what? And you get hosed in Texas, Matlock. You get hosed. And you know what? They'll come take your house away, even though you own it. They'll mess with you. That is ungodly. That ain't right. So I don't believe in property taxes. I believe there's other ways that you can get tax dollars, or you can get money to fund the things that the government gives us without property taxes. I mean, the roads in Texas are shitty anyway.
What does the government give you?
Well, they're supposed to pave the road. I mean, my God, I'll tell you what they give us right now. They give us very narrow roads and highways in Dallas, Texas, because they have these concrete things, these barriers with tire marks all over them.
Yeah.
I was coming through the other day through Dallas, and I had to put my phone down and actually drive.
Oh, that is...
Because it was so freaking narrow, Steve. I was like, oh, my God.
Well, you drive this giant, humongous truck.
I do, man. I barely fit in
Diesel
both
burning,
lanes.
ozone layer
You need to put-
burning
God
truck.
bless you, Chad
Yeah.
Prather.
You
God
need a
bless.
Diesel truck, 6.7-liter turbo diesel.
You need a bumper around your whole car. You just bounce off the...
Road Armor is sending me some new bumpers.
Good.
They are sending me some new bumpers. But I got the cattle guard, the whole thing. And I'm like, get out the way, bitch.
Move.
So can I ask about the cattle guard?
Yeah, sure.
Are you going to go rolling through a pasture anytime
Maybe.
tomorrow?
I did this past weekend.
So you need a cattle guard?
No, but it's for the deer, and it's for the the deer and the antelope where they
look.
play.
Thank
the
you,
look.
Hot News Natalie.
You smack
It's
'em.
the look.
Well, it does look
It
awesome.
does. It's
does.
and that's a brush guard.
It's a brush guard, not really
Right.
a cattle guard. It's a
Well,
brush
it's a
guard.
cattle
But I
guard.
was on a ranch. I was on the ranch this past weekend and out and about. But let's face it, my truck does see more road time than it sees ranch time.
So meaning that the
These
chance
days.
of you hitting a deer is
Yeah.
definitely higher.
Yeah.
Because you are on the road a lot.
Well,
I mean,
I'll just put it this way: the brush guard came with the truck.
He's got
okay.
Better chance of hitting a Prius.
Yeah. Yeah.
Than
I
a
mean,
deer.
honestly, those things, Matt, can do more damage to your vehicle
Yes.
if you hit something.
That's right.
Because it's tied to the frame and
Yep.
it just really bends everything. But that being said, that's what your tax dollars are doing. They've been working on I-35 for 47 years, as long as Joe Biden's been in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
They started building on this stuff, and they still got and I'm like, there's not even anybody out here working. The roads still suck. I'm wrecking my vehicles trying to, stay between the lines there.
Are they still doing the high-speed rail?
No. There's a debate on that. Well, let me just say before we go back to our topic, Steve.
Oh, sorry.
Powell, that the high-speed rail problem, they were wanting to build one between, Houston and Dallas, that kind of deal.
And then going
Austin.
down to Austin.
And Austin, all through there. See, the problem is it's a Japanese company. So what happened was Texas was actually selling off land to Japan. Greg Abbott, they were selling off land to Japan, so Japan would actually own the land that the rail was on and own the rail, and that ain't a good thing, folks. That ain't a good thing.
Well, and they pay rent.
And
So
then they
Indiana did that with their toll roads.
Right.
They sold it to a Swedish company.
Right.
And the Swedish company did all of the operation, the maintenance, and everything else, but they rented that land back to Indiana. Indiana got money for it.
Well, that's the thing, because they tried to make this thing like, oh, this is a great business deal for Texas. This is great. Now, over my dead body, and I know a lot of state reps who have said the exact same thing down there in Austin. We had dinner with our good buddy, I won't say the name, the other day, state rep. He can come out and talk for himself, but he said, over my dead body, that railway will happen.
McDonald's did that. They're real estate. They
are a real estate
They're
company.
a real estate company. They're not a restaurant.
That's
I watched
right.
that movie Founder, and I was like, that's brilliant.
That's how he got the name.
Yeah, McDonald's is not a hamburger company.
Correct.
They own more real estate than anybody else in America. But taxes are theft. Taxation is theft. And I'll say it as my friend Eric July says, our friend Eric July says, it's theft by extortion. It's extortion. And I have people, I went on Twitter earlier this week, and I said, I'm tired, go find another teat to suck off of. I said, the state does not have the right to take and dispose of the fruit of my labor. And when I say state, I mean the capital S, state. And people say, why do you hate the military, Chad? You stupid yokel. You don't like police officers. You want to defund the police officers. No, stupid. What I want is us to stop having 1.2 million troops in 150 countries simultaneously in constant wars, both cold and hot, since the 1940s. There's no reason for us as Americans to be doing that. That is pure libertarianism right there, to say, no, it's time for us to pull back and stop being Woodrow Wilson's world police. Right?
Well, that's
half of Americans don't pay federal taxes now, and look how much money we spend on the military. Military will be just fine through marketplace taxation. Same with our property taxes. We can make up for property taxes through marketplace consumer taxation. You go out there, you pay your sales tax, so you add an extra penny or two on the whole deal, and you'll see what happens. And guess what? If you're not paying property taxes, now you have the ability to go out there and not only improve your home and your property and make it nicer, because you're afraid to do that right now because you know your property tax is going to go up, hot news. But also, you got more money to go out there and spend at Lowe's and the Home Depot and all these other crazy companies to go out there and make your home better. So guess what? You're, in essence, paying your property tax by buying your new gardening stuff.
Let's do it.
See what I mean?
Never happened.
Never happened.
Oh.
You know why?
But I'm fighting for it.
Budgets. You'd have to budget money.
You got to budget
The government would actually have to live under the budget of money that was brought in.
Which is a good point for libertarianism, is there should be no debt.
Right.
There should be no governmental debt.
Correct.
So liberals and conservatives, the right and the left, Democrats and Republicans, neither of them truly believe in small government. They don't. And that's the BS of it all. You're not conserving anything in America anymore. Conservatives aren't conserving. In fact, I know so many people who talk a good conservative game. If tomorrow the government was made smaller, they'd be screwed. Because they live off of subsidies. They have some welfare. And I'm not saying anything negative if you're on any of those things and you utilize those things, but I'll steal a phrase that probably is not original to him, but I heard Charlie Kirk say it a while back, and I love it, is we want to have, when it comes to welfare and things like that, it should be a hand up and not a hammock, right? It should be something that helps you get through something, but not something you go to sleep in and spend the rest of your time just resting there. That's not, and that's what so many Americans are doing. And I'm talking about conservatives too.
I believe in that.
Yeah,
I do. I had a Pell Grant in college, but I've given back 100 times. But I was very thankful for that, to have that help for college.
There are people. You might get financial aid, you might get all this, but I mean, you pay those things back.
That's
you
right.
Get school loans. I mean, I know people. My gosh, I know people that have been out of school for 25 years still hadn't paid off the school loans.
Right.
Still trying to figure.
No idea who that
I didn't mean
would
to
be.
look at party foul whenever I said that, but I was just having a conversation with somebody this week who's my age, 48 years old, and he's still dealing with, I mean, astronomical sums of school debt, and he was there on a sports scholarship, but still. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of people. If the government was made smaller, Maddie, if the government was made smaller, a lot of us would be screwed.
Well, politicians would be. If you really look at who would be hurt the most, be politicians.
Yeah.
The people who are supposed to be representing you, and wouldn't it be in their best interest to represent you in the best way possible?
Yeah.
See, DC doesn't solve problems. That's why they hate Trump.
Right.
He's a problem solver. They need to create problems. So to create problems, you need what? Bigger government.
That's right.
Bureaucracies, bureaus,
We got to have
committees.
somebody to manage those
You got
problems.
it.
It's just like the doctor. The doctor doesn't heal you. The doctor manages your illness, okay? The doctor can do a few different things, but for the most part, it's pain management. It's health maintenance, right? It's all these different things. They can't heal you. If you have cancer, they can manage that cancer and hopefully help to reduce that cancer, but they can't heal you. They don't have a magic wand. They're not
They
Harry.
can't or they won't.
Well, that's another story.
I know. Deep.
But
See, we do go deep.
we do go deep. There's at least things to think about. I'm kind of looking Kevin Costner today.
Okay.
Kind of looking Kevin Costner today. You kind of do, actually.
I'm kind of Yellowstone in it today.
I was thinking like Dances with Wolves or something.
Maybe the mailman.
Mailman, yeah.
Yeah.
But the same with government. The government creates the problem, and then they have to keep spending money to manage the problem. That way the problem never goes away. We need health care reform in this country badly. But
Yes.
Obamacare wasn't the solution.
Nope.
It just created more problem. It created more bureaucracy. That's why they had to fine you, $1,200, $1,400 if you didn't have health insurance. You know why? Because they knew that a lot of people weren't going to go out there and get the health insurance, so they had to fine you, which was just another form of taxing you in order to pay the bureaucracy to run the damn thing.
And that's extortion.
Well, it is. Because at the end of the day, I believe in free market health care. We need health care reform.
Yes.
It shouldn't cost me. I don't want to even get it. Your husband had neck surgery this week. I wouldn't even want to imagine what that would look like without some form of insurance and all of that. I mean, I've seen the bills that come in.
You'd barely get a doctor.
Right.
Barely.
Right.
Maybe.
Because they know they're not going to get paid.
Right.
They know they're not going to get paid.
Right.
And doesn't that scare the bejesus out of you, thinking that now we're under a system where you get the least qualified man or woman to work on your neck? Not the
Right.
best.
Ugh.
Because in a truly libertarian system, you would have the ability to go choose
Correct.
who your doctor was and what you wanted to pay.
Yeah. So you're exactly right. And in the grand scheme of things, we need the reform, but I still believe in a free market. Well, the free market needs to be, we need to have that ability to go out there and choose your doctor, unlike what Barack Obama said. Choose your health care plan. And you shouldn't get raked over the coals, and I could use stronger words than that, raked over the coals just by maintaining your health, right? Because let's face it, we're all dying. We're all getting older. Gravity's taking its toll. The second law of thermodynamics, things in motion tend to fall apart. It's the law of entropy, and that happens to the human body. We're going to need it. But to create more bureaucracy that's got to be taxed and paid for and fined if you don't take it, that's what pisses me off about the conservatives in the House and in the Senate. They just knew that Hillary Clinton was going to get elected. They had 8 years to come up with something that would replace Obamacare, and when the time came, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Donald Trump comes in, wants to repeal it, and John McCain, blah, 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 all these guys, and they didn't have a plan. They didn't have anything to replace it. So there you go.
In the meanwhile, go if you want to know what true government run health is. Just ask anyone in Canada. I just talked to somebody last week about how awful it was.
Yeah.
She texted her friend in Canada. She lives here now and said, "I actually saw a doctor this week."
Yeah, that's insane.
But hot news, it's available to everybody. That's
It's
it's
sure.
available
You don't
to
have to pay
everybody.
anything.
Not now, but down the road. So
See,
down the road, you'll eventually get a doctor.
I'm driving in the studio today, and I'm like, oh, I've got such and such day off. I need to call the eye doctor and get in and see them. And I'm like, I'll call them in a little while.
That's right.
When I'm done. You know why? Because I can.
Right.
Because I can. I don't have to wait 6 months to go see the eye doctor. Like, I'll just call them in an hour or two. I got my head doctor, my crazy doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I missed a telecall with him the other day, and his assistant called me up, and she was like, oh, we were calling the wrong number. We're sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. We'll reschedule it. And they're like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, let's just do it in 2 weeks. Just go ahead and refill my prescriptions so I don't go crazy.
Yeah.
Since I'm a sociopath. And let's just go ahead and do that. And she's like, no problem. No problem. And I was like, I'll talk to Joe. That's what I call him. I'll talk to Joe next week.
Oh.
I know.
Relationships.
No, just a thing. We drink whiskey together.
Okay.
It's good for my head.
Therapy.
It's very therapeutic. Y'all hang tight. We'll be right back. I'm going to get into some platform issues. Don't go anywhere. As libertarians, we seek a world of liberty, a world in which all individuals are sovereign over their own lives and are not forced to sacrifice their values for the benefit of others. That's just a way of saying, I don't care what you do as long as you don't try to cram it down my throat.
Amen.
Right?
I'm okay with that.
Amen.
So here's my position, like gay marriage, okay?
Yep.
You don't want anything crammed down your throat?
Look at Steve stepping on my punchline.
Pretty good right there.
Yeah, it's okay. But let's talk about that for a minute. Gay marriage. Do I care if you get married and you're gay? I don't care. I do not care. I don't care if you're in a gay relationship. Don't care. I don't care. Now, my personal conviction is that you can't put, because I believe in Scripture, and I just don't believe you can put gay marriage on par in the eyes of God with heterosexual marriage. Now, if you want me to believe what you believe and honor that, I'll honor it. But you got to honor what I believe too. Mm-hmm. Right?
Nah.
Without criticism.
That makes too much sense.
I understand. It's way too much logic. But see, that's the thing. You want to say, oh, he's being hateful. No. I'm asking you to observe the same rules you're asking me to observe. So if I have a conviction and I have a belief system, I'm asking you to honor it whether you disagree with it or not. I honor yours whether I agree with it or not. So that's fair play. Steve?
My thought is, as long as both couples get the same benefits that you're by employers and stuff like that, I don't give a shit about that either.
Yeah,
and there's people that say, "Oh no," because you brought the spiritual aspect into it, and with the government, you can't do that anymore, right?
Right.
So you have to leave that part out of it. Let the gays
completely
marry
different deal.
the gays.
I'm just saying,
let you marry who?
I'm just saying, if you don't want me cramming my faith down your throat, then you can't cram your faith down my throat. And trust me, it's all a faith. F-A-I-T-H. It's all a faith.
Right.
Everybody has a faith. It might not be a Christian faith or a Buddhist faith or a Muslim faith or a Jewish faith, but you have a faith. It might be a humanism faith. It might be a political faith, but you got a faith. You know, Dianne Feinstein said to Amy Coney Barrett in her confirmation before the federal hearing when she was appointed to the Seventh Court, when she said, the dogma lives loudly inside of you. And Amy Coney Barrett said, the dogma lives loudly inside all of us. It's just a matter of what the dogma is. Now, it might be a political dogma, but we've all got a dogma, especially Candice.
What you speak of is tolerance, and what I don't understand is why it's okay to disagree. Where did everyone's tolerance go?
They ain't got enough.
Social media.
Social
you
media.
left behind a keyboard, Natalie, is where it went. I just had this conversation the other day. There's no repercussions for your actions anymore.
Right.
Why don't you go up to Mike Tyson and tell him to his face that you can whip his rear end and see what happens?
Yeah.
But you can be arguing in Oregon with someone from Ohio and have zero repercussions of your words.
Yeah.
Or you even take the word of one crazy right or one crazy left as Bible, like that's what most of America feels. And it isn't. most people feel the same way as you, Chad. I mean, from
when
a
it boils down to
standpoint.
it, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. And that just doesn't, that is not shown in social media because instead everybody holds on to the dramatic part of the right and left.
It's amplified
It's
on
amplified.
social media.
I got this message, and this person is totally entitled to this opinion about me, okay? Because at the end of the day, someone here in the studio just said, Chad, I appreciate your outlook on life because you can pour shit all over me. At the end of the day, I'm just going to keep on going. I'm just going to keep on rocking and rolling. You can think about me whatever you want to think about me. I got pretty thick skin. Mm-hmm. Hey, Chad, you're a moron. They spelled it Y-O-U-R.
Oh.
Don't you love that?
You can't when somebody calls you stupid.
R-E.
Yeah, I
Get
mean,
it together.
In a stupid hat, although very Yellowstone.
I think it looks good.
American hat at that.
And no one likes you. And if they say they do, they aren't being honest. Smiley face. Have a good day, ass hat. Hat emoji.
I like you.
Hey, Chad, why are you so stupid? You seem like a pretty tough guy, huh? Nah, we all know you're not. You're a sad, insecure little human that in the end will amount to nothing. No one will know you. No one will love you. You have a nice day, you sad, sad little man.
Smile emoji.
I mean, what does that say about the author of that right there? That's self-reflection.
Yeah, I mean, when I retire out in the middle of nowhere and nobody knows me on my
projection, is that
on my 900-acre ranch, I mean, you know.
But no one's going to know you. Well, that's too late. A lot of people know you. Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah. And in the end, who cares if anybody knew you or not?
Right.
You're
I was perfectly content when nobody knew me.
Yeah.
Just more fun now.
But, you know, that person that wrote that, they know you.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Well, they know you intimately. I mean,
Very
come on. They watch your show every day.
Well, Y-O-U-R, a moron.
We believe that respect for individual rights is the essential precondition for a free and prosperous world, that force and fraud must be banished from human relationships, and that only through freedom can peace and prosperity be realized. Right? We defend each person's right to engage in any activity that is peaceful and honest and welcome the diversity that freedom brings. The world we seek to build is one where individuals are free to follow their own dreams in their own ways without interference from government or any authoritarian power. Now, that's a dangerous world right there.
It is a dangerous world because you're talking about out there on the fringes of what's okay and what's not okay.
Yeah.
And you're talking anything from pedophilia to, necrophilia.
But as long as it doesn't harm another person.
Yeah.
It can't harm another person. Pedophilia harms another person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have the right to engage in, individuals have the right to exercise sole dominion over their own lives, have the right to live in whatever manner they choose so long as they do not forcibly interfere with the equal right of others to live in whatever manner they choose. So, see, there's the balance right there. And it goes on as to what I alluded to earlier. The state, capital S, doesn't have the right to dispose of the lives of individuals and the fruits of their labor. Now, you can get into the Libertarian Party is against the death penalty, for instance, because it says the state doesn't have the right to dispose of someone's lives, people's lives. So there you get into some debate. There you get into some debate on, for instance, capital punishment. But if, as I alluded to earlier, if sex workers want to work and it's among consenting adults, that should be legal. If you want to do drugs, you should be able to do drugs. I mean, you can't force drugs on anybody else, but depending on what drugs you want to do, you should have the right to do those. You're doing it to yourself.
Well, and consequences under those of if you do heroin and jump in a car and kill somebody.
Yeah.
There's laws, or marijuana or alcohol or any other drug, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's your body.
It's your body, but you can't do anything that's going to harm anybody else's body.
Right.
Can you Kevorkian yourself?
I would say yes.
I would say
yes. Now, again, does the Kevorkian person have the right to do that? Well, that's debatable. Can you commit suicide? Well, you can now.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to go out and chop my hand off and call that normal behavior, they'd probably put me in a home.
Yeah, they'd probably put you in a jacket.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Hey.
Just the right to die. Could you have the right to die under those rules?
Well, it would depend, because again, now you've got a person who's doing something to you to dispose of your life.
That's right. You've got someone helping you, assist you. But you think about it. Look what we do with our animals. We're dog lovers here. We call it humane.
Yes.
To put our animals out of their misery, if you have to. Is it humane to put down a sick elderly person?
Slippery slope.
It is.
Slippery
Wasn't
slope.
it the Eskimos that shoved the old people off on the iceberg and shove them out to sea?
Good luck. Good luck. You're on it, and that's it. And
hope you make it.
have some whale blubber and some tusk, and good luck.
Joseph and I just had that conversation the other day, because I said, listen, if I end up a vegetable, I can't go to the bathroom myself. I can't. I mean, if I can't do any of that, just take me out, because now I'm just wasting his years where he could chase new ass.
Wow. Now that is the most libertarian thing I've ever heard you say.
Idea right there. I'm just wasting years. He could chase ass.
I'm not dumb. Like, if I died.
Like, there is a lot of ass out there.
I know, and he's a good-looking man.
He is a good-looking man.
He is.
I mean, I'd like to rub his bald head.
His throat.
Dimples and
I know. I'd love to rub his bald head. I mean, he's got a great bald head.
Yeah, it's good.
He's in a neck brace right now.
I'm serious. If I was, I don't want to be him to have to take care of me as a vegetable.
What happens if he becomes a vegetable? You going to go chase ass?
Take him out.
Pull the plug. Yeah. Pull the plug.
There's a celebrity couple who I won't name.
Who is it?
Nope. In the break, I'll tell you. Celebrity couple. She's gone now. She passed. But heard from him recently, and one of the things that he said was she suffered so bad there at the end. He said, if there was a way, he said, I probably would have taken it.
Right.
Because she was hurting so bad. And Woody, I don't know, but I'm just saying that was the emotion at least he felt.
That's hard.
And I tell him all the time, I'm like, hey, look, if I get to be like Joe Biden, just make it a big caliber. I don't want anything left.
Make it a big caliber.
I mean, just throw a towel over my head so it doesn't make a mess, and poof, there you go.
But isn't that the one thing?
Hang on, we got to go to break. I don't want to make light of it, but I'm just telling you, man, these are issues that people need to debate. We're with Matt Locke. We'll be right back. So, you can't violate the rights of any individual, namely the right to life. So you can't have it's the prohibition of the initiation of physical force against others. The right to liberty of speech and action. That means the government can't abridge the freedom of speech and press, as well as government censorship in any form. The right to property. Oppose all government interference with private property, such as confiscation, nationalization, and eminent domain, and support the prohibition of robbery, trespass, fraud, and misrepresentation. The government can't violate individual rights. There's a lot of debate stuff here. There's a lot of things you could get into.
Including, goes back to what we're saying, the right to death. If you have the right to life, you should have the right to death.
Individuals own their bodies and have rights over them that other individuals, groups, and governments may not violate. Individuals have the freedom and responsibility to decide what they knowingly and voluntarily consume and what risks they accept to their own health, finances, safety, or life. Well, now here, let's get into this. Abortion, because that should come up anytime you start talking about individual autonomy and freedom. Recognizing that abortion is a sensitive issue and that people can hold good faith views on all sides, we believe that government should be kept out of the matter, leaving the question to each person for their conscientious consideration. Now, that being said, I would have some heavy debate there.
Right.
Because you are now inflicting harm on another individual.
Well, and that's the argument.
Yeah.
When is it an individual? I mean, that's the argument that they always make.
Yeah.
But it should be, I'll tell you, abortion should be at the state level, not the federal. Get rid of Roe v. Wade.
100%, yeah. 100%.
Throw it back to the states, and locally you will take care of a problem better than a bureaucracy at the federal level. So that's what the left always confuses.
Right.
Roe v. Wade can go away. Yeah. Abortion won't.
Right.
Because it'll go back to the states. Now, California, New York, Illinois, Hawaii, they're going to continue to do abortions.
Sure they are. And Roe v. Wade is not a constitutional issue.
No.
It's not about that. It comes back to the states.
Yep.
Here's what I've been trying to say to people in Texas forever about parenting your child. When I say there shouldn't be exemptions for immunizations, I mean you shouldn't have to fill out a form at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to immunize, don't immunize. I shouldn't have to ask permission of the state. People say, you're against exemptions. No. I'm against the exemption form that you have to fill out. Parents or other guardians have the right to raise their children according to their own standards and beliefs, provided that the rights of children to be free from abuse and neglect are also protected. There you go. There's a lot of things in there I can get behind. People are scared to death of freedom, though, Matt. Because you know what? When you're free, you got to be responsible.
That's right.
Right.
It's a hard deal. So now I can smoke all the weed I want to smoke, but I got to be responsible.
That's right.
For what I do when I get high.
After you've done it, right?
Yeah.
Just as alcohol, any other thing, caffeine, any prescription tablets you take, you're responsible for what goes in your body, and you're responsible for what happens to your body afterwards.
Here's one for you. Retirement planning is the responsibility of the individual, not the government.
Thank you. I just talked about that on my show today. Social Security
ain't
is a
social,
joke.
and it ain't secure.
And think about it. You pay in your entire life to a fund of the government that says,
True.
I'm going to give it back to you in small increments.
Yeah.
And then they say to you, oh, well, Chad, you were so good at what you did, and you made so much money, and you've got a pension. We're going to cut your benefit.
That's right.
It's your money. My good buddy had that happen to him. He's a business owner, and he's like, they cut my Social Security by 40% because I was good at what I did.
They stole.
They did.
Let's be clear.
That
That's
is your
stealing.
money.
That is your money, and they stole.
And the government took it from you. Every week,
Correct.
every 2 weeks, every month, you better pay it or you're in jail. And then they can tell you how to give it back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's right.
But they don't go to jail.
No.
So libertarians
Thief.
would phase out the current government-sponsored Social Security system and transition to a private voluntary system.
Amen.
The proper and most effective source of help for the poor is the voluntary efforts of private groups and individuals. See, people don't like that. There's that responsibility
they don't, because
again.
once they separated church from state, boom, they don't, all of a sudden they, don't want
That's
the
a
church.
whole other debate.
Yeah, I know.
That's a whole other debate. But we believe members of society will become even more charitable and civil society will be strengthened as government reduces its activity in this realm.
I agree with that.
I do too.
Yep.
Let's talk about the military. We support the maintenance of a sufficient military to defend the United States against aggression. The United States should both avoid entangling alliances and abandon its attempt to act as policemen for the world. We oppose any form of compulsory national service. Thoughts? Anyone?
Oh, I'm with you. We don't need to be the world's policeman.
We don't need to be the world's
Defend America.
police.
Ron Paul.
Yeah.
I love Ron Paul for that very deal right there.
Right.
Right.
That's I'm trying to see here if there's anything else we want to do. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of individual liberty, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to agree to such new governance as to them shall seem most likely to protect their liberty. Bam!
Hell, though, whoever's going to agree. I always feel like everybody's just griping and fighting.
Yeah.
I think
Nobody
the
agrees.
majority of the people would agree to personal freedoms to be left alone.
Yes.
Let me do as I do. I don't care if you're gay and want to date. I don't care if you're transsexual. I don't care if you're a liberal. Just let me be me and you be you.
I felt that way too, except recently. I feel like more and more people are drinking this socialism idea.
Right.
Because they see what they see as security. It's not secure.
It's not
So they
secure.
think there's a carrot at the end.
And they think the government's going to take care of them for whatever their needs are.
Because you're
And it's
right,
like,
Matt.
no.
That's,
Who
I
wants-
mean,
I don't want
Yes.
to depend on any one individual entity or person, except for Chad. He pays my paycheck.
Well, there's that.
yeah, me too.
You know what? You've heard the word reprobate. Normally we talk, if you heard the word reprobate, like you call somebody a reprobate, you're calling them a sinner, right? You're calling them a person that's always
That
what
wasn't
that means.
on my toilet paper this week. I don't know that word, reprobate.
It's not on my
Reprobate. I'm
toilet
going to tell you what it
paper.
means. Pro, in front of. Bait is to basically bait. It's to put, it's B-A-T-E, not B-A-I-T, but you are putting something in front of someone that leads them on. It's the carrot on the stick in front of the donkey.
Yep.
And the donkey keeps walking trying to get it. It never gets it. But tomorrow, when the guy gets on that ass again, he's going to hang that thing out there again, and he's going to reprobate. So he's going to do the same thing every single day, and the donkey's never going to get the carrot. But we keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Mm-hmm. We're reprobating all of the insanity that we are doing with our government, with ourselves, with our lives, with our communities, with our states, with these elections, all of this stuff that's going on. We're reprobating the process. In other words, we're always chasing the temptation. That's what socialism does. It dangles the carrot. You never get to it. That's what Marxism does, what communism does. It dangles the carrot. In many ways, it's what capitalism does. It dangles the carrot. The only thing is capitalism, sometimes you actually get the carrot. You get the carrot.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's called profit.
Success. You might not get the whole carrot sometimes, but you at least get a bite of the carrot.
That's right.
And that's why all these economic systems have their problems. But I should have the freedom. Now, you got the freedom to chase that carrot all you want, but I should at least have a system that enables me to get to the carrot, right? Socialism doesn't do that. And it never does. It promises the carrot, a big old fat, everybody gets the same size carrot. But it turns out it's the guy on the ass, on your ass, at the end of the day, that pulls the stick back, takes the carrot off the string, and eats it himself.
That's bait and switch.
Bam! Bam! There you go. Oh, now you know what reprobate means. All right, y'all hang tight. We'll be right back. Matt Locke, host of Lock and Load, and you guys have a pretty good little podcast going on with Beer for Brunch. So cheers.
Well, thank you. Hey, wait a minute. This is what we always do on the Beer for Brunch. Ready?
Already opened mine.
Chad, I got to train him. I mean, we have a great time talking about beers and local beers here in the DFW. We talk about crazy stuff and guy stuff. We just remade the Man Show. Beer.
Well, and your podcast is not just for drunks, because I was there and I had a great time.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. I loved it. They're so awesome.
And I like
the YouTube channel, Party Foul Nation, is growing leaps and bounds weekly. It's been crazy. We had you come on the show, and
thank you, sir.
Great, drink a good porter. Yeah. What and where can they find Lock and Load?
Well, you can find everything I do at thematlockshow.com.
Right.
So I do my daily show, and then my Lock and Load is a long-form interview series I just started. And we just sit down and talk about people. Not so much politics, but who you are. I had you on. Everybody loved it.
Hell yeah.
Everybody loved it.
He started low, and now he's working up. He's got some big hitters.
But you know what? My favorite line on that, if they go back and watch it, Chad says, I got to Texas so I could breathe. And I'm telling you, that was the most profound statement I've ever heard anybody say, because I'm from Indiana. I got to Texas so I could breathe.
Deep.
Yeah, there's room here, man. There's room here. We're going to be in Kansas City tomorrow night, and we're going to be there Saturday night. Then if you happen to be in Nebraska, come see us in Omaha Sunday night and Monday night. You can go to watchchad.com and find the schedule. Of course, that is where all the fun stuff is. I want to encourage you to go to where podcasts are offered. You, Fact Pack members, go right now. Go over to Apple Podcasts. Give us a 5-star rating and say, yeah, I'm still here hanging out watching the Chad Prather Show. We love it. We like it. We want some more of it. I think I got that backwards, but you know what I mean. Just say something so that our rankings continue to go up. Follow at Natalie Woods 22.
22. Like Chad Prather, Governor 22.
Hashtag Abbott out.
That's right.
Hashtag Prather 2022.
Boom.
Yeah. One of my mentors said, you don't need to run. You don't need to run for governor. You're crazy to do that. He said, you know, you'd be successful in one area. You might not be successful in that area. And I'm like, yeah, but what if I am? Who knows?
And why
we'll
not?
see. I love y'all. God bless. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.